What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this very quick review of the Married at First Sight Kickoff Special hosted by Kevin Frazier. So the Kickoff Special was just a bunch of Married at First Sight experts or fans who were going to give their predictions on which couples they thought were going to say yes or no on decision day. And the panel was made up of entertainment journalists or entertainment writers for various publications. Two came from Variety, one came from the Associated Press, and one came from Essence. And so they were just giving their thoughts and opinions on the couples and which couples that they thought were going to make it on decision day. So that was all fine. I enjoyed that, but I'm really here to talk about the previous cast members who stopped by to give us a quick update on what's been going on with them now. And the first cast member that came was Mark the Shark from the Boston season. And Mark was the one that was married to Lindsay, and they were in a very, very toxic, borderline abusive relationship. That marriage was absolutely dark and it was awful to watch. They constantly fought, even from their wedding. I think it started going downhill from their wedding day because Lindsay got drunk out of her mind on her wedding day and Mark did not care for that. And just from there on out, they just struggled. They struggled so much. They were not on the same page about anything. They were not compatible in the least. I'm beginning to wonder if the relationship was even slightly, maybe physically abusive, because I remember there were times when Lindsay would reach out to touch Mark and he would flinch away from her. And he gave some excuse about he didn't want to be touched or whatever, but it was just bizarre to watch. I mean, she would just try to pat him on the shoulder or, put her hand on his hand and he would literally jump. And it kind of reminded me of someone who's being physically abused. I'm just saying, it just looked odd to me. So that relationship was extremely toxic. They fought like cats and dogs constantly. It didn't matter where they were or what they were doing, they would end up in an argument. So they said yes on decision day. After that, they ended up getting a divorce because I don't know why they thought that if we say yes and stay together, all of our problems would magically disappear. If they were really serious about staying together, they should have gotten some deep, intense therapy, which I don't think that they did, which tells me that they were not really serious about staying together anyway. But anyways, they got a divorce. They went their separate ways. He stayed in Boston and she went to California. And so they asked him, do you and Lindsay still talk? And he said, no, they do not talk. He says he has no ill feelings towards Lindsay. He wishes her the best. It is what it is. He even sent her a birthday card, to show that, he has no bad feelings towards her. I guess he still cares for her. He just wants the best for her, whatever. But they don't talk anymore. There is no communication between them. He said that if he had somebody who was a little bit softer than Lindsay, maybe he would have been a little bit more successful in his marriage. Who knows? He would definitely do Married at First Sight again. This Mark that I saw sitting on that couch was a completely different Mark from when he was on Married at First Sight. When he was on Married at First Sight, he was constantly anxious. He was jittery. He was always nervous. He was just like wound up. He was just like a ball of nerves. He was not comfortable. He never seemed relaxed at all. He was completely unhappy in that marriage and in that situation. But now that it's over, he's a lot lighter. He's happier. He was joking around. He was laughing. A completely different Mark. And it's crazy how relationships can take a physical toll on you and completely change how you appear, how you physically look, because he looks like a completely different person. He's just so much happier now. Then we saw Noi. She was also in the Boston season and she was married to unemployed Steve. So on their decision day, they did say yes, that they did want to stay together, but they ended up getting a divorce. Their major issue was the fact that Steve refused to get a job. Steve had worked in corporate America for a while and then he quit his job to travel the country, travel the world or whatever. And he just wanted to live his life. He just wanted to experience a bunch of adventures. He wanted to travel and do all kinds of stuff. And so he didn't want to be tied down anymore to a 9-to-5 job. And what he was doing for income sporadically, he was doing a lot of freelance work. But I guess when he got married to Noi and Noi was able to take care of all the bills, he saw no need to even do the freelance work. So Noi said that the biggest problem between them was him not working. She said that he was absolutely adverse to getting a job. And also, they didn't see eye to eye on having a joint savings account. She said that even though he was living off of his savings, because Steve made it seem like he was sitting on millions in his savings. The way he talked about, oh, I'm not worried about working. I have a savings account. I don't have to get a job. I've got money in my savings. I'm contributing because I've got money in my savings. He made it seem like his savings account was this endless pit of money. But Noy said it wasn't. His savings account was dwindling, and the fact that he had no intention of getting a job bothered the hell out of her. So that, probably above all else, led to their divorce. She also said that he had a problem with her posting on social media. He definitely had a problem with her posting subliminal messages about the relationship. But she said that even when I wasn't posting anything about our relationship, he didn't want me to post anything on social media. She also indicated that she felt like he was possibly cheating on her, or he was entertaining the thought of being entertained by someone else. So she felt like there was probably some infidelity. There was no concrete proof of it, but she speculated that he probably was seeing someone else or entertaining the idea of seeing someone else. So they are done. She says they do not talk. They are not cordial. They have nothing to do with each other. They only speak when necessary when it comes to issues of their divorce. Moving on from them. Then we saw Stasha and Alexa. Was it Alexa or Alexis? Alexa. And so Stasha was the one that was married to Nate, and they are no longer together. They did try to make it work. They said yes on their decision day. They stayed married for, I think, quite a few months afterwards, but they were separated for a while, I think. But then they tried to make it work again. It didn't work out. Their biggest issue, according to Stasha, their biggest issue was Nate not moving into her home, because she had bought a home shortly before she got on the show, a brand new home, and she wanted Nate to move in with her. But Nate was dragging his feet about that. And so she says because he refused to move in with her, that's what led to their divorce. I think it was a whole lot more than that. They had a lot of issues. Even though Stasha presents herself as confident, self-assured, successful, well put together, attractive, she has a lot of underlying issues, and I don't think she's willing to face those underlying issues. Her biological father was not in her life, and I think that has a lot to do with it. This fear of being abandoned or being left, I think had a lot to do, because on their season, she was constantly begging him for reassurance that he loved her, that he was going to stay with her, that he wasn't going to leave her, that he was in it for the long haul. Because she kept on asking him, do you love me? How much do you love me? Do you love me more now than you did then? Are you going to love me tomorrow? Are you going to love me forever? Just constantly badgering this man on proving his love to her and reassuring her that he's not going to go anywhere. Well, Stasha, let me break it to you, sweetheart. There is nothing in life that is guaranteed. Nothing in life that is guaranteed except death. So love, marriage, friendships, jobs, all of that is fleeting. All you can do, Miss Stasha, is just enjoy the damn moment and not worry about tomorrow. But she couldn't do that. She needed to be reassured that he was going to feel the same for her, or feel even more love for her tomorrow, and then more love the day after, and more love the day after. Because she said her biggest fear was being in a loveless marriage. So that is kaput. They asked her about men who don't earn as much as their wives. And, the men that say, oh, I don't mind if my wife earns more than me. She goes, don't believe it. Don't fall for the okie doke. They say that. They all say that, but it does bother them. And in her marriage, she made more than Nate. And even though Nate said it didn't matter to him, he didn't care. I think Stasha was implying that he did end up caring, that it did matter to him at some point in their marriage. But Nate came across as the kind of guy, like, he was like, hey, I don't really care if you make more than me. But I don't know, maybe it did bother him at some point. But she was telling the women, hey, if a man tells you I don't mind if you make more than me, don't believe it. Run for the hills. Then Alexa, we all know what was going on with Alexa. Her and Justin, that relationship was probably more toxic, if not as toxic, as Mark and Lindsay. That marriage was also very difficult to watch. They said yes on decision day, and then as soon as they said yes, they got into an argument. So needless to say, that marriage ended up it's over. They're divorced and they have nothing to do with each other. She says that she has not spoken to Justin, hasn't seen Justin, doesn't care about seeing Justin. That marriage is completely over and done with. She's open to dating other people. She wants to keep all of her options open. She's not serious about anybody right now. She says that she is seeing the guy that she had gone on a double date with Kristen, but it's nothing serious. They're just friends. And so she's happy. You know, anybody would be leaving that situation. And then we saw Bao from Houston, Bao, who was married to Johnny. Now, if there ever was a perfect example, if you ever want to see gaslighting in motion, watch Married at First Sight Houston, because the way Johnny would gaslight Bao, it was just amazing. It was amazing. He was like the king, the expert of gaslighting your wife. That was also difficult to watch. So their marriage really, really struggled. Johnny was a compulsive liar. He lied constantly. He put her down constantly, made her feel worthless all the time, or tried to make her feel worthless. And then on top of that, I think he started an inappropriate friendship. I'm not going to say relationship, but an inappropriate friendship with one of her friends while they were filming the show. I don't know what was going on between Johnny and this particular friend of Bao's, but something was going on that made everybody really uncomfortable. But on the other hand, she ends up hooking up with Zach, who is married to I forgot her name. I forgot the name of who Zach was married to, the woman that he was married to. But anyways, they were all in the same season. Zach was struggling with his marriage. She was struggling with her marriage. And she said that they basically trauma bonded. They were both in a really bad marriage. And so that's what brought them together. And they thought that they could find comfort in one another. But then I think she said Zach ended up cheating on her. Of course he did, Bao. Of course, because he ended up hooking up with his wife's friend, at the very least, his wife's coworker. Yeah, that's red flag. That's cheater vibes, player vibes. It's all of that rolled into one. So, of course, I mean, you don't, Bao, please don't tell us that you took Zach seriously. Please. And Bao, I'm still, kind of concerned about you, that you so freely were dating your castmate / friend / co-worker's husband. I'm still looking at you kind of sideways as well, Bao, because that was grimy of you to do that. Now, the thing about Bao, the reason why I say, what she did was wrong was because y'all always want to make us think that the people that, y'all are like really good friends. Y'all are the best of friends. Y'all are experiencing something that no one else, that very few people have experienced. And that's what bonds you together, because y'all really want to come across like, oh, we're good. We're best friends. We're BFFs. We all get along. We all love each other. And then you date your friend's husband. We didn't put that label on you that y'all were friends and BFFs and sisters and whatever the hell y'all were calling each other. We didn't put those labels on you. You put those labels on yourselves. And then you come out and you start dating your friend's husband. Are you serious, Bao? I'm still looking at you sideways. Okay, I'm still looking at you sideways. So she is not dating anybody right now. She is free and single, ready to mingle, and she's having a good time. She's happy. She got herself a dog, and yeah, she's living the life. So that's what I really wanted to talk about, was the people from previous seasons who came back to give us an update. Oh, and how can I forget Amani and Woody? I saved the best for last, y'all. Amani and Woody, my absolute favorite couple of all on Married at First Sight. They are above the rest, head and shoulders above any other couple. I love Amani and Woody. So they are still together, looking breathtakingly beautiful. This couple is they are so aesthetically pleasing to look at. They are a joy just to look at. Forget about the fact that, they have great personalities and they're adorable with one another. Forget about that. they're just really pleasing to look at. So they have a 4-month-old son. They're still making it work. We understand that they are not the perfect couple. They are not couples goals. Nobody really is, but they are a good example of a marriage that can definitely turn out really, really, really well on Married at First Sight. Not just them. Of course, there's plenty of other couples that are still together much longer than them, but I love Amani and Woody. They can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned. And the question was asked, I think Kevin asked them something about, them being the it couple. How does it feel to be the it couple? And they said, we don't see ourselves as the it couple. We have the same struggles that everybody else has. We have our ups and downs. We are not the it couple. No one should strive to be like us because we're just, we're regular people. There's nothing special going on over here. We're just like everybody else. Everybody should just do the best that they can in their own situations. I love Amani and Woody. The way this man would look at y'all. I don't think I've ever seen a man on this show look at his wife the way Woody would look at Amani. I don't think I ever have. From the first time he laid eyes on her, when she walked up to that altar and he saw her for the very first time, it was love. I don't know if Cupids are real or not, but they definitely existed that day, and they struck him in the heart when he saw Amani, because he looked at that woman with so much love and adoration. And she had no choice. He wasn't going to give her up for nothing. She had no choice but to give in to Woody. Absolutely love that couple. Anyway, that is my little review. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, do not forget to rate the video if you like this content. Please subscribe, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.